Hey everybody, welcome to the Perfect Storm Horse Racing YouTube channel. We're just a little over a week away from the Breeders' Cup. It's Thursday morning, the 28th of October. I'm going to do some preliminary videos to take a look at the projected pace scenario, some of the trends over the years, some of the key races, key prep races, and take a look at some of the horses who we think are contenders. This is kind of just an early look. We're kind of lining up the data right now, and then we apply the astro factors when we get close, when we get the draw in and we have the program and post position numbers, and we see who's going to be where and who's actually going to make it in. Right now we have 19 on the list in the juvenile turf sprint, and what I'm looking at here is the Briss past performance summary. This race is setting up to have a fast pace. What I've done here, you can see I've circled the pace E1 and E2. That's the first, second call pace figures. And we're looking at these four horses here have the early speed. Averly Jane, Coffee Maker, Making My Move, and Run Curtis Run are strong in the early speed department. I always take a look at the par figures for the level, and what we have here in the upper right corner of the sheet are the average figures that you kind of need to win or contend in these races. You can see the E1 and E2 is 94, 98, a late pace number of 88, and the final figure of 89. So 89 is the par. You can see the top four horses listed here all have the ability to run to par. Averly Jane, Dairy Nane, Slipstream, and Twilight Gleaming, and we'll look at all those. The other ones are a little bit slower than that. And then down here, these are all the Europeans, which we don't have ratings for. So you want to get to the time form sheet and get a look at those guys and see where they may fall. But we'll take a look and evaluate them on their class, what level they've run at, and how they look to compare to this group of Americans. Okay, there up the top, you can see the condition. This is Del Mar Race 6 for 11.5. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. This is a Grade 2 race. The first horse, Armor, is interesting. This guy finished up close, did not win, but finished up close in the Juddmonte Middle Park, which is a good prep race for the Euros coming into this one. Generally, you can't really go by the final time on these European charts, but there's one case in here that really stands out, which we'll get to. This guy is able to run up close. He was near side in touch with leaders. He was prominent towards the near side. Prominent led narrowly over 1 furlong out, so he likes to stay close to the pace. I don't know if he's got enough to stay close to this pace that we have here today, and it's hard to tell. Looks like he won this Windsor Castle and the Darley Prix Mornay, which was Grade 3, so he looks like a contender, but he may be a little bit light. Averly Jane run better than par for this race, has the pace ability to lead and run a figure. Is capable of winning this race as even with that pace pressure. She may be the fastest of the fast here, but right now she is definitely a top contender. This next horse, filly, Baby Steps, doesn't look like she has enough juice. She broke her maiden last time out, and that's not anywhere near enough to be able to win this race. And if you look at this early pace number, this horse looks like a need to lead type. She's up there running close. She was second by a head at the second call, second by a head in the stretch, but this 90 isn't going to do it against this group. Dairy Nane, this is an interesting horse that Christoph Clement has here. This horse ran at Woodbine last time. It only ran in a couple of listed stakes, 120, 125,000. But this horse has the ability to run a nice late number, ran to par for this level, and was able to press the pace and really come on strong from the second call on. And this is the type of horse that could take advantage of these four horseless horses who are going to be setting this early blistering pace. Non-contender there. Go Bears Go is kind of an interesting contender. Ran pretty well in the Juddmonte Middle Park. Got beat by 3/4 of a length. This horse likes to be prominent and up close. This horse also figures to be part of that early pace. Has won a 6 furlong grade 2. These race ratings are high, so this horse has a good bit of class. If you compare these races, even though this horse did not win there, he did win at the 116 and 115 levels, which is pretty good. When you look at Averly Jane, she's only coming out of 113, 114. So this Go Bears Go has a pretty good amount of class coming in here. Hierarchy, not looking at this horse as a contender. Coffee Maker's another Wesley Ward horse, as was Averly Jane. Wesley has been doing well in this race the last few years. You can't ever overlook one of his horses. This one ran in the Indian Summer, finished second to the stablemate Averly Jane there. Averly Jane was really on the lead there pretty comfortably, length and a half, first by 3 at the stretch. Not much of a pace challenge. She's going to really get challenged today, so that could be the difference. Now this horse, when it broke its maiden, it was up close to the leader. I don't know if this horse is capable of pressing and getting done. Right now I'm going to say no. We'll see what happens with other factors as we get closer. This John Kimmel horse filly is a really strong pace factor here, but not enough late to be able to overcome the competition up front there and win this race. One-timer from Larry Ravelli. This is pretty interesting. This horse won the Speakeasy. Not a great speed figure, but she has run better in the past on the poly, which is, similar to running on turf. So this horse definitely has the ability to move up and make its presence felt, but it looks kind of like a need to lead type, and it's not going to get the lead with that type of pace. Quick Susie is kind of interesting. This horse ran pretty well and has run at a decent level, actually winning at the 116 level in the Darley Prix which was a grade 1 race at 5 furlongs. So this horse looks to be a contender here. Run Curtis Run is a pace factor, but does not look like a win contender with these final numbers, but definitely going to mix it up on the front end and maybe hurt the other front runners. Slipstream, Christoph Clement. This horse is interesting. Decent race on the maiden win. Grade 3 win in the futurity. This horse has shown the ability to lead and win and also press and win. Is this horse capable of jumping this speed figure up, pressing against this pace? That's going to be the trick question here. Right now, I would say maybe not. The next two non-contenders, Time to Party. This guy here, Peter Miller. This guy just does nothing but win Breeders' Cup races on turf sprints. So second up close on the Speakeasy. Also, though, looks like a need to lead type. Don't know if he can press and win. He did press and get close in the last race. We'll have to debate on that and see as this field gets sliced down to the 14 or less that are going to be running in it. Twilight Gleaming, the other Ward horse. This one again, need to lead. A little bit light on the pace. Don't know if that's going to be enough to overcome to get the win here. Uh, ran well here in the spring, went over to Europe, ran pretty well there, second in the Queen Mary, which is pretty good effort, and then won the Prix de la Vallée d'Auge race. Twilight Jet, nope, non-contender. This horse is really interesting. Brian Meehan, no stranger to winning a Breeders' Cup race. This is a Euro that has done really not a lot wrong, but didn't win until this last race. It's a listed stake. It's not a graded stake, but the time that this horse ran in 56.4 is like really fast for a European sprint. And the race rating was a 116, so this horse really does kind of figure as a contender. So I definitely have to put him in the mix. So along with Vertiginous as a contender, the Ward horses are contenders. You have to respect them all. I'm not crazy about Twilight Gleaming, but I have to consider him a contender. He did pick up form here, winning over in Europe and running well for second. He's got a really good workout pattern. The only thing is I'm not sure if he's capable of pressing and running them down, so I put him at the very bottom of the list. Right now I've got to respect Peter Miller, but I don't see him as a top contender. Go Bears Go, I have to consider him a contender. He's a bit of an unknown trainer. This guy hasn't really, I don't think, ever won. I know he's never won a Breeders' Cup race, but I don't even know if he's ever brought a horse over. But this horse is respectable, has a good amount of class, and is definitely capable, it looks like, of winning this race. The only question I have here is, um, what his running style is, if he's able to, sit back a little bit, because I don't think he's going to be as fast as some of these other guys are early. Darrynane, I do like him a lot. He's a proven presser that can run to par. If I had to make a choice right now before seeing the rest of the data that I'll be looking at, I like Darrynane as a strong win choice. I might make him my top pick right now. And behind him, I would put Averly Jane. And then the other win contender that I do have is Armor. So it's kind of right now Armor, Averly Jane, Darrynane, Go Bears Go I'd look at a little bit lower, and then Vertiginous would be my primary win contenders right now. We'll see how the Astro data shakes out, but we are looking at super hot pace here, and Averly Jane looks like the only up front pace runner who could hold up. Darrynane is really the strong presser, so that's how it looks on the pace scenario and the class. Best long shot, Vertiginous. For the European odds, if you want to see how these horses are being bet right now, take a look at Odds Checker. They carry the European betting. You can also go to the William Hill future book and get some early prices over there. So that's it. We'll come back and take a look at some more of these as we move along here.